Time is the most precious resource granted to mankind. It is the one commodity that every man and woman receives equally, regardless of wealth, status, or influence. The richest king and the poorest beggar awaken each day with 24 hours in their grasp. Yet some take those hours and turn them into gold, opportunity, achievement, and legacy, while others scatter them into the winds of distraction and regret. The difference is not in the amount of time given, but in the way that time is used. If you are to stop wasting time and start winning, you must first understand that every moment of your life is either working for you or against you. There is no neutrality in time. It is either compounding toward your success or compounding toward your defeat. The tragedy of many lives is not that opportunities never appeared, but that opportunities came and passed while their hands were too full of wasted hours to grasp them. The world does not deny men and women the chance to rise. It is people themselves who deny their own destiny by squandering their days in meaningless pursuits. If you wish to become a person of power, of influence, of achievement, then you must wage war against wasted time as if it were the enemy of your soul, for indeed it is. Let me tell you a truth. The man who masters his time masters his destiny. The woman who disciplines her hours disciplines her fate. It begins with the recognition that time lost is life lost. You cannot reclaim a minute once it has fled, but you can prevent the next one from fleeing in vain. Too many wait for a great chance to strike, when in fact every small moment, wisely used, builds into the greatness they seek. The future belongs to those who treat time as a treasure, not a toy. Consider this. Every great invention, every empire, every fortune, every work of art was built not by men who had more hours, but by men who had greater mastery of the hours they possessed. While one man fritters away an evening in idle chatter or in the endless pursuit of amusement, another uses the same evening to study, to plan, to create, to invest in himself. A single evening seems small, but repeated across years, it makes the difference between the mediocre and the magnificent. So how does one stop wasting time and start winning? The first step is to awaken to purpose. Without a definite purpose, time slips through your fingers like water. Purpose acts as the vessel, giving shape and direction to your hours. Ask yourself, what is the central aim of my life? What am I working toward? When you know this, every minute must be evaluated in the light of whether it draws you nearer to or farther from that aim. To drift without purpose is to surrender your time to the demands of others and the impulses of the moment. But to fix a great goal before your mind is to harness time as a servant to your ambition. The second step is discipline over distraction. Modern life is filled with voices calling for your attention. Voices from glowing screens, from trivial gossip, from endless entertainments that promise pleasure but steal progress. Every minute you yield to these distractions is a minute stolen from your dream. Winning requires the courage to shut the door on trivialities and to open it only to those tasks that bring you closer to your aim. Discipline is not denial. It is direction. It is saying no to the unimportant so you can say yes to greatness. The third step is to act with decisiveness. Wasted time often comes not from doing the wrong thing, but from doing nothing at all. Indecision is a thief of life. While you hesitate, opportunities vanish. While you doubt others' act, do not linger in endless weighing of possibilities. Gather your facts, consult your wisdom, then strike with resolve. Time rewards the bold, not the hesitant. If you wait for the perfect moment, you will still be waiting when your days are spent. Action, even imperfect, moves you forward. Hesitation leaves you stuck. The fourth step is to plan your days as a general plans his battles. The general does not march into conflict without strategy. He lays out his movements with care, for he knows that confusion brings defeat. In the same way, you must approach each day with intention. Write down the tasks that must be accomplished, and do not end your day until you have driven them to completion. A man without a plan is like a ship without a rudder, drifting at the mercy of the waves. But a man with a plan bends the waves of time to carry him toward victory. The fifth step is the mastery of habits. Time is not only stolen in great chunks of idleness, but in small leaks of careless habit. The hours you waste each morning in sluggishness, the minutes you lose each evening in distractions, these accumulate into years of lost opportunity. Replace wasteful habits with winning habits. Rise early, as the dawn belongs to those who seize it. Read, learn, and nourish your mind instead of drowning it in trivial noise. Exercise your body so it becomes the strong servant of your will. Each habit may seem small, but together they forge the discipline of a conqueror. The sixth step is association. The company you keep determines how your time is spent. If you surround yourself with idlers, complainers, and dream killers, they will drag your hours into the mud with them. If you walk with the ambitious, the disciplined, the visionary, they will sharpen you, inspire you, and pull your time toward purpose. Choose your companions as carefully as a banker chooses his investments, for they will either multiply your time or bankrupt it. The seventh step is persistence. Many waste time not because they never begin, but because they begin and abandon. They start a project with enthusiasm, then, when obstacles appear, they retreat and wander into distractions. Thus the hours spent at the start are lost, and the goal is never reached. Winning requires the determination to see a thing through to completion, to push through the walls of resistance, to keep sowing even when the harvest is far away. Persistence converts wasted beginnings into fruitful endings. The eighth step is self-reflection. Each night, examine how you have spent your day. Do not excuse yourself, do not flatter yourself, but ask honestly, did I invest my time in ways that brought me closer to my aim? Did I allow distractions to rob me? Did I act with purpose, with decisiveness, with discipline? By measuring yourself daily, you refine yourself. A life without reflection is a life doomed to repeated waste. But a life examined each day is a life that steadily climbs toward victory. The ninth step is to recognize the value of even small increments of time. Many waste moments because they seem too short to matter. Yet the minutes add into hours, the hours into days, the days into years. A man who squanders 15 minutes each morning squanders 90, 1 hour in a year, enough to master a skill, to launch a venture, to change a destiny. Treat every minute as a seed, for within it lies the harvest of your future. The 10th step is to cultivate intensity. Some work half-heartedly, dragging their feet, stretching tasks into endless hours. Others attack their work with focus, compressing into an hour what the sluggish require a day to accomplish. The secret to winning is not merely how many hours you have, but how much life you pour into them. Work with all your mind, all your energy, all your will, and you will create results that astonish even yourself. Finally, understand this: wasting time is not merely a mistake, it is a form of self-betrayal. Every time you surrender to idleness when you could be advancing, you cheat the person you are meant to become. Every hour wasted is a promise broken to your own future, but every hour used with purpose is a pledge fulfilled to your destiny. The world belongs to the man who knows the value of time. History remembers not those who wasted their days, but those who filled them with deeds that endured. The monuments of civilization, the inventions that changed mankind, the movements that transformed nations, these were the works of men and women who treated time as sacred. And so I say to you, stop wasting time, for time is your life. Begin this very moment to live with purpose, with discipline, with action, with persistence. Stop waiting for tomorrow is only the child of today. If you seize today, you seize tomorrow. If you waste today, tomorrow is already lost. You have within your grasp the same 24 hours as the greatest men and women who ever lived. The question is not what time will give you, but what you will do with the time you are given. Will you let it slip away, scattering like dust in the wind, or will you forge it into the foundation of victory? The choice is yours, and in that choice lies your future. Use your hours with wisdom, and you will find that life begins to deliver into your hands the rewards of effort, the fruits of discipline, and the crown of achievement. Waste your hours, and you will discover that life passes you by, leaving only regret in its wake. Time is the master test of character. To master time is to master yourself, and to master yourself is to win in the grand game of life. Stop wasting time. Start winning, for every second counts, and in every second lies the seed of your destiny. The greatest illusion men often fall victim to is the idea that they still have plenty of time. They say to themselves, "Tomorrow I will begin," and when tomorrow arrives, they say again, "Tomorrow I will begin." But the man who forever delays his beginning is like a farmer who holds the seed in his hand and waits for the perfect season. Seasons pass, and his field remains barren, while his neighbor, who planted with faith, gathers a harvest. Understand this: there is no perfect moment to act. The only perfect moment is the one you are living in right now. If you cannot command this moment, you will never command the future. Think of the man who wastes his hours in constant amusement, filling his mind with distractions instead of direction. He tells himself it is harmless, that it is merely a way to pass the time. Yet in truth, every wasted hour is a brick removed from the foundation of his future. You cannot build an empire with missing bricks. You cannot construct greatness with gaps in discipline. While he amuses himself into mediocrity, another man is using that same time to study, to sharpen his skills, to build connections, to forge the character that wins. And when the hour of opportunity comes, one is ready and the other is unprepared. The prepared man seizes the crown, the unprepared man watches from the crowd. Many believe that winning requires talent alone, or luck, or the favor of fortune. But if you examine the lives of great men and women, you will discover a deeper truth. They were not merely talented, they were tireless in their use of time. They guarded their minutes with more care than others guard their gold. They were not lucky, they were prepared, and preparation is the child of disciplined hours. Fortune did not merely favor them, they attracted fortune by converting time into power. If you wish to rise, train yourself to feel the weight of every wasted moment. When you are tempted to surrender an hour to idleness, remind yourself that this hour could be the one in which you write the idea that transforms your life. Make the call that opens a door, or take the step that changes your destiny. How many great inventions remained unborn because their creators wasted the hour in which inspiration visited them? How many lives remained ordinary because the extraordinary moment was thrown away? The world is filled with people who might have been great if only they had treated time as sacred. To stop wasting time and start winning, you must also master the art of focus. A scattered mind is like sunlight diffused through clouds. It provides light, but it does not ignite. Focused time is like sunlight concentrated through a lens. It can set fire to whatever it touches. Too many allow their energy to be dispersed across endless trivial tasks, never finishing, never mastering, always dabbling but never achieving. If you wish to win, you must direct your energy as a river is directed into a channel. When the current is strong and focused, it cuts through mountains. Remember this truth: time is not measured by the ticking of the clock, but by the use you make of it. An hour of distraction is not equal to an hour of focus. 10 hours of idleness cannot rival 1 hour of concentrated labor. Thus, do not simply count your hours, weigh them. Ask yourself not how much time did I spend, but what did I create with the time I spent? For in that question lies the difference between the defeated and the victorious. When you begin to treat time as the substance from which life itself is shaped, you will find that you can no longer bear to waste it. You will rise earlier, not because the clock commands you, but because your purpose calls you. You will labor with intensity, not because someone compels you, but because your destiny demands it. You will withdraw from trivial company, not because you despise them, but because you cannot afford to squander the hours that belong to your dream. In this way, you will cease to live as a slave of time and become its master. The man who wastes his time is the man who wastes his chance to become great. Every moment carries within it the power to change the entire course of your life, yet many treat it as though it were worthless. They allow hours to slip through their hands like sand through open fingers, never realizing that those grains are the very fabric of their destiny. Time is the raw material out of which dreams are built, and if it is thrown away, dreams die before they are born. You cannot purchase it back, you cannot bargain for more, and you cannot borrow it from another. Once it is gone forever. To waste it is to discard the one resource that makes all others possible. The secret of winners is that they understand this truth and act upon it. They look upon time as a sacred trust, a treasure to be guarded with unyielding vigilance. They know that their success is not determined by what they wish or even what they know, but by what they do with their hours each day. One man may read endlessly about achievement, but never apply it, because he spends his days in delay. Another man with less knowledge, less talent, and fewer opportunities may rise above him simply because he used his hours with relentless action. Time rewards the doer, not the dreamer. Look around, and you will see men and women who are defeated not by enemies, but by their own habits of delay. They make promises to themselves that they never keep. They begin projects that they never complete. They speak of ambitions that remain forever in words, never in deeds. Their failure is not in their abilities, but in their misuse of time. They have chosen comfort over progress, ease over discipline, and distraction over destiny. Yet within every one of them lies the same 24 hours given to the greatest leaders, thinkers, and creators the world has ever known. The difference is not in the hours, they are equal. The difference is in the choice. You must decide each day whether you will rule your time or let it rule you. If you surrender your hours to triviality, your life will be trivial. If you invest your hours in greatness, your life will be great. Time is the soil, and your choices are the seeds. Plant wisely, and you will reap abundance. Plant carelessly, and you will reap emptiness. You cannot deceive time, for it yields exactly what you sow into it. There is immense power in the smallest unit of time when it is properly used. A single hour of focused effort daily, repeated for a year, becomes the foundation of mastery in nearly any field. A single habit of discipline, applied over months, becomes a fortress of character that no storm can break. But the reverse is also true. A single hour wasted daily becomes 30 days wasted in a year, and over decades it becomes years thrown into the abyss of regret. The man who wins is the man who recognizes this compounding power and bends it in his favor. Do not tell yourself that you are too busy, for busyness is not the same as productivity. Many people fill their days with activity, but achieve nothing of significance because their actions lack direction. They are like a man rowing furiously in circles, exhausted but still in the same place. The true measure of time well spent is not how much you did, but how much closer you moved toward your purpose. One decisive step forward is worth more than 1,000 steps sideways. To stop wasting time and start winning is to live deliberately, to move with clarity, to act with force. It is to recognize that each day is a page in the story of your life, and what you write upon it can never be erased. When you fill your days with idle scribbles, your book becomes meaningless. But when you fill your days with purpose, your book becomes an epic that inspires generations. So ask yourself each morning, will I waste this day or will I use it? Will I live as a prisoner of distraction or as a master of destiny? The answer is not found in what you say, but in what you do. For action alone is the proof of your respect for time, and action alone will carry you from wishing to winning. Time is the greatest equalizer, and how you use it will decide whether you leave behind a legacy of mediocrity or a monument of greatness. Every second you waste is a piece of your destiny slipping away, and every second you invest wisely is a step closer to the life you were meant to live. Stop waiting for perfect conditions, stop surrendering to distraction, and stop excusing your delays. Begin now with what you have where you are, and let discipline and purpose guide each moment. For the man who governs his time governs his future, and the woman who commands her hours commands her crown. Choose today to stop wasting time and start winning, for the future belongs to those who act while others wait.